Welcome to the family with
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Alex Bernard Rasmussen.
Michael Bryant.
And Andy Brandt Bernard.
what is Jude doing behind me there?
I don't know, but I just bit the inside of my cheek so hard.
I hate that.
I think I have to go
Fun
to the
stuff.
doctor.
Ouch.
I did that last night. I did the same thing last night, and I don't know why I did it. Who knows?
I know I did it because I've been dealing with your IRA, RMD. and
Other
it's-
than that, though,
Honest to God, I spent 25 minutes on the internet, on U.S. banks' websites, trying to figure out the address to send the form.
So did it get dealt with?
It got dealt with, but I got to send the form in, and I actually had to call a branch. You know how the bankers don't want to talk to you anymore.
no, they do
They
not.
want everything done online. No one ever wants to speak to you. They should give the address of where to send things to.
That'd be
But
good.
anyway, I finally had to call some random bank branch and just sit on hold for 10 minutes to find somebody to give me the address to send the form to.
Okay.
This has been a very frustrating situation, I
I
have
will.
to say.
I will tell you. I was watching her last week. You must have made 15 phone calls, and not one human ever answered.
Well, and if you did get a human, they didn't know what to do with us.
No.
So they just sent us back into the voicemail loop.
Yep.
Yep,
It's pretty
I know.
amazing. It's
That's really
unfortunate.
fun.
Yet another reason to deal with Mike Bilski.
Bilski.
Well, I have to tell you, every time I've had a really bad problem with a company, if I complain about it on X, we get somebody, the guy from social media, he was on it. He double checked everything. He made sure everything was right. He told us what was going on. He called and double checked if we got in. He was great.
He was, yeah.
But the 1-800 number is it's a misery. It's a
Yeah, they
it's a
barely
one-
even monitor them anymore.
It's a 100.
There was,
it's
I don't
so
remember
bad.
what it was. There was a business recently that we were interacting with. And, it was this place that we took Ethan to like play. And they had a sign on the wall that had a phone number and an email address. And it said, phone number isn't monitored as frequently as the email address.
Oh.
Wow.
So it's
Nobody wants
like,
to talk to you.
yeah, no, the phone number basically was just useless. If you wanted to talk to them, you had to email them and hope that they were checking their emails. Very weird.
The Diocese of New York had a whistleblower that was really high up in the bishop's office because there was a phone that they'd set up for survivors to call if they had something to say to the diocese. And she said she would sit there every day and the phone would ring and ring and ring and ring and ring. And then finally one day she picked it up and talked to somebody. And next you know, she's like walked out the door saying, I can't do this. And yeah, the phone it was there and it rang, but
Yep.
it was her answering it that suddenly launched her into a whole new path in life.
Yeah, phones are apparently phones are going away, strangely enough.
Well, how are you going to stay in touch?
That's a great question. I mean, when we went to this place, what if some kid had gotten sick or something? It's like,
Yeah.
what, we're going to email them
Email
and 6 hours later they're going to show up. It's, not good.
Well, and if they don't want you to, if they don't want to answer their phones, then why don't they have their websites updated
Yeah.
ever?
That's true. They never do. That's the other thing is websites are kind of going on the wayside
I
too,
know,
because
but
everyone
how-
just wants to use Facebook pages or whatever.
Yep.
Where do you get your information from? I mean, this is a bank.
Google
This
Maps and prayer.
This is an IRS form that you have to deal with.
I know.
You would think you could get the information.
It would be a good thing.
Oh, it's so.
We're almost going
annoying.
back to the days where you just can't get in contact with anyone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's out of business hours. Too bad. I don't exist
Yeah,
anymore.
maybe we'll go back to carrier pigeons.
I've
Maybe
left
that's how
my
it
house. You just can't get in contact with me.
Tom Hanks in his wagon.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
There you have it. So we were just talking. Had a good show this morning. Everybody did a really good job. Had Joe Souchere on. Love Sue. She's a great guy. Very smart guy. We had him on. His podcast does very, very well. It's because he worked very hard developing it.
Sure.
Did a good job and all the rest of it. But Kristen Burt, we were just talking about basically, even if you did have insurance on your home, it's for about 33% of the value of the home currently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you live in an area that's constantly on fire, getting earthquakes, getting
Yep.
floods. It's like, how do
Well,
you insure something like that?
well, the big issue with insurance in California, and I know everybody's screaming and yelling about greedy insurance companies, which I agree with, but California was setting what insurance companies could charge.
Oh,
And
really?
yes, and that's why they left
Oh,
because
yeah.
we cannot recoup if something happens. We can't recoup our money.
Well, yeah, I
So
mean,
they
they
left.
have to make money in order to exist. That's just a fact of
Yeah.
life.
Well, but they don't make their money off premiums. They make their money off investing the money that they get from the
Exactly.
premium.
And if they don't
It's
make
supposed
enough
to be
money
even. Yeah.
to invest, then they're not going
Yeah.
to be able to recoup their costs.
Because I mean, like, can
Exactly
you
right.
imagine being the company that insured like Hollywood Hills during
Oh,
a fire?
God.
I mean, they probably would have to pay like $10 billion in claims. You know, how do you like the business? You can't survive with that. You're going to end up paying 10% of them and then going bankrupt, and then no one gets anything.
Yeah, there aren't many insurance companies that have gone bankrupt over time, though. I mean, there are some, but very few of them
Well,
actually go bankrupt.
That's because they refuse to pay.
That's part of it. Yep, that is part of it. So
Yeah, our friends lost their, well, they didn't lose their house. They lost a lot. In the two hurricanes ago, they live in Naples. Their entire first floor got destroyed. All of their stuff got destroyed. The recovery was like $1 million. The insurance company willingly wrote them a check for all of the items in the house, but would not cover the restoration of the house. It was like $1 million. So they had to pay for it. They had to pay for it themselves. They weren't going to. They would not give them any money.
yeah, the problem that comes up though is that you got a grandfathered in house with certain things, and then due to changes in the building code and those type of things on what you have to have, you
Brand new
don't
house.
have the insurance for the house you need. You need now, or you'd have to get through the regulation,
Yeah.
and they don't have to insure that. But I mean, they'll still own the land, which is going to be. I got to believe the land there is worth a lot of money. So,
Well, they're just going to self-insure from now on.
are they okay?
Yep, they're just like, this is ridiculous because apparently most insurance policies have some sort of rider saying that you can't. You're in a flood zone, so water that comes in is a flood.
Yep, exactly.
No matter if it's wind-driven rain or whatever.
That's the thing. If you live in a very disaster-prone area, a lot of them are going to say, we're not going to protect against this specific kind of disaster because
Right.
it happens so often.
Right.
It would just be like we'd be constantly paying premiums to everyone who lived there.
Well, I remember we had an issue with our house. We had a backup sewer thing. Remember?
Yep. Yep.
And the insurance company wasn't going to pay for anything because we didn't have flood insurance. I'm like, well, we're not in a flood zone and we're on top of a hill. They said, well, you didn't have flood insurance. I'm
Is
like,
that Golden Valley?
yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't tons and tons of damage, but it was,
Amazing.
yeah, there's always something.
But the good news, this is for basically Andy and Alex, for your future. Mom has got this building that's being built. She's got it all picked out for you. And you'll be happy to know that the units start at $14 million.
So you're
Yeah,
talking
we were,
about
yeah, we were walking the dog and we're like, oh, I remember when this was just a dentist office and
Yeah.
some other stuff. And all of
Yep.
a sudden, this giant, beautiful
Yep.
condo building's coming up. So I looked at it. It's called Forte, Forte. And I believe the starting in West Palm Beach, I believe what I could find
Yep,
on
there it
Zillow
is.
was 14 million
wow.
Here's their website. Do they even
14
have?
for
million.
a condo.
A big condo.
Well, it is right on the intercoastal. So
No, it's across the street,
It's
actually.
across the street, actually. Yeah.
well,
No
I mean,
beach. There's no beach for you.
Nope.
well, no,
No
of course
beach for
there
you.
isn't. But I mean, you get a view of the intercoastal
Yes, you do have a view.
if you
Yes.
live on that side.
Yeah, you can
But
get
it's
like,
$14 million.
yeah, you can get a week at the Breakers for that.
Yeah.
Oh, no
maybe
wonder.
a month. Maybe a month.
So you know that gigantic tower? You're talking about this enormous tower. There's only 41 residences in it.
Okay, so I
So there
noticed that
must
they
be
were over.
massive.
Yeah, they must be
They're
humongous.
over 4,000 square feet, but is that the whole?
You get the whole
You
floor.
get a
I
whole
think you get the
floor?
entire floor. Yes.
God, it looks like way more.
4 to
than
5
4,000
bedroom
feet.
plans ranging in size from 4,200 to 8,400 square feet.
Holy God, that's a
So
big
yeah,
concept.
there
So
you
the
go.
8,400 ones are probably the top ones, and that's the whole floor. And the
10-foot
4,000.
ceilings, floor to ceiling windows.
So how much is the 8,000 square foot one?
Jesus. Only 2 residences per floor. So there you go. So each floor gets the peasants who aren't looking at the intercoastal. And then you get the good one that is looking at the intercoastal.
Okay.
The peasants.
Average price $25.8 million.
Wow.
And then
Lowest price 14.7, like you
Yeah.
said.
There it is,
Yeah.
like you said.
Highest price 47.5 million.
Oh God.
Okay,
Average
'cause the-
price per square foot $4,000.
Yeah. Because the Bristol, there was a huge rumor running around the building that Elon Musk was going to buy the top floor of the Bristol building, which some makeup woman bought, and then she died.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
daughter, wasn't it?
No, it was Hutton.
Oh, it was Hutton. Okay.
I don't know what makeup line that was, but she had purchased that when it was first going up, and then she died a few years ago. He's not buying it. Apparently, that's just a rumor, but that's like 34 million for the top
All right,
floor.
here is the penthouse, the penthouse suite for that building. That's the
Yeah.
47.5 million one.
Okay.
It's 9,000 square feet,
Jesus.
5 beds and 7 baths.
Wow.
Seven.
Wait, 7 baths.
7 baths. First,
Why
good
do they have
guess.
so many bathrooms?
That's a good
Seems
question, but I'm looking
excessive.
at the gallery. I mean, it's got a built-in pool, like on the second floor. It's got 2 floors.
A built-in pool.
A pool that's built in on the balcony. Yep.
Oh, so you get a private pool.
So you,
Well,
yeah,
I would
you
expect
can
that for 47.
you can sit in your private pool while looking out at the ocean. It's got a full bar that has seating for it looks like 10 people. It's got some very tacky bedrooms.
Tacky.
I mean, it's got a picture of a neon tiger above the bed, so yes.
Mike
Oh
Tyson.
God.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's probably one of the nicer places in Florida, but
Wow.
I don't know about 47 million, you know.
That's to buy it, right?
I think it's to buy, yeah.
Okay.
What is the
The
HOA?
rental per month.
What's the maintenance on that?
Yeah, the
every
maintenance.
I
month?
cannot even imagine.
Uh-huh.
Like there's acres, 0.00.
Because you're in a
You
condo.
don't get any land.
So-
Sorry.
So if you're that 6th person who wants to take a bath, you got to use the pool.
Yeah,
I
probably.
just can't understand why you wouldn't buy a house if you're spending that kind of money.
Because then you
Why
have
does
to
it
pay
have a
people
house?
to mow, and
Yeah,
you
but
gotta,
people don't want land.
No,
There's
they
a lot
don't.
of people
Yeah.
that don't want to deal with land and gardens.
Yeah.
and-
you know, this is the
Probably
kind
don't
of
have
place
kids.
that an insanely rich person buys because they don't want to lift a finger ever again.
Right.
So they just live in there, and their maids do everything, and you know.
Oh, that's why you have 7 bathrooms. You can use one every day until the maid comes and cleans
Oh
them.
yeah,
So
There
you
you
never
go.
have to use a soiled
dirty
bathroom.
toilet.
Do you know how many croissant wrappers that place would have if I lived there?
Oh,
Well, after you spend 47 million, I don't think you're going to be buying any croissants. You'll be deeply in debt.
From
at that
Loic.
point.
Oh yes, he would buy him from Loic. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that.
okay, so you're supposed to spend what percentage of your yearly salary on your mortgage?
Your mortgage.
What's your mortgage on 47 million?
Be pretty high.
At 20% down,
Let's see. Mortgage
29.
calculator. Let's calculate this.
so you got to put 10 mil down.
Yep.
Probably.
So
9.4,
47.5 million. Does it even go that high?
And the interest rate's got to be kind of huge.
If you put 20% down with an interest, I mean, I don't know what the interest rates are today. If this is auto populating at 7%, that sounds about right.
Mhm.
Loan term of 30 years. Sure, why not? All right, your monthly payment $252,000
A month. $3 million a year.
after your $9.5 million down payment. Of course.
Oh God.
And I bet you your maintenance has to be 20,000 a month. Has to
Probably.
be. Somebody's
I
got to
would
clean that
imagine, yes.
pool and do all that stuff.
Probably.
Yep.
I like this.
Wow.
Monthly home insurance, $125.
What?
That
Okay.
can't be right.
I don't think that's true for this place, but that's
Yeah.
what the calculator says.
Well, that's
Oh,
It's funny to
well-
imagine a $125 bill on top of a $252,000.
Well, I don't think that's right, but usually in most HOAs calculate the insurance in there for fire, flood, whatever.
I
And
mean-
then you just
here we go.
all you have to insure is your belongings.
HOA fee is $8,000.
A month,
That's
I
all?
A
think
day.
so. Yeah,
a day,
it's per hour
per
actually.
hour.
Per hour.
8,000 sounds cheap.
That's what
Who-
that's what it's got on Zillow, $8,000 monthly. I mean, we're still talking almost $100,000 a year on just HOA fees,
Wow.
but when you're buying a
Judge-
$47 million place, you probably don't care that much.
Didn't Judge Judy leave her, and she's very, very, very wealthy. She
Yes.
left her apartment in New York because the HOA had gone up to something like 30,000 a month.
Yeah.
30,000?
Yeah.
Yep.
That is
She's
insane.
like, I'm not paying it. I don't care how much money I have. I'm not paying that. for
No,
maintenance."
that's ridiculous.
I gotta be honest with you though. If I had that much money, I'm not paying you $47 million for a condo. I'll go buy my own island
Yeah,
somewhere.
exactly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm just going to
I
buy
mean-
Hawaii.
I can buy Hawaii.
maybe Greenland.
I just, man, that's a lot of money. That's all I got to say. Is
That's
a
I
lot
a
just
of
lot of
can't-
money.
Yeah, you just look at the real estate down here and you think, how many billionaires are there down
There's
here?
a lot of rich people in West Palm Beach, and
mean-
especially
God,
Palm
yes.
Beach.
Almost, but this is on the other side. This is on West Palm that they're building these ridiculously
Yep.
expensive condos.
Yeah, but it's right, like I said, it's right on the water, more or less. You know,
It
you got
is.
this great view of the island, you got the view of the ocean,
I
don't
just
know.
don't get it.
and
So
then
when
you
it-
go what a quarter of a mile north, and it's like rundown hovels. Very interesting.
Not a
Wow.
quarter of a
Hovels.
mile.
yeah. I think you got to go a little further.
Little.
Not
I know,
that
there were
far
some,
though.
There were some
You're right.
areas that I drove through going to and from the hospital that I was like,
Yeah, and the hospital's walking distance. I walked to
no,
the hospital.
different. This
Oh.
hospital.
No, it's a
Yes,
different hospital.
Yeah, this is way up north. Way,
Oh,
way,
okay.
way up north.
Yeah, no, yeah, just
Way,
just
way, it was a
north of West
12-minute
Palm Beach,
drive.
it gets very sketchy very quickly.
Yeah. It's true.
Yep.
So,
it's
I gotta ask.
interesting.
I gotta ask everybody a question here to change the subject because I might throw up if I think about spending $50 million on one house.
Well,
but-
good news is you'll never have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good news is
We're
I'll
gonna
never
have
have to do that. But we were just going over some why it is that people, and maybe people have always been this way, but if you're successful now in America, people hate you. I mean, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs is very, very successful. He has a lot of talent, and people were railing on him in social media this morning. Oh my God, they're upset.
Because he's
He ru-
connected to Taylor. That's
No.
Kelsey, right?
No, that's the tight end.
No, that's the tight
he's-
end, yeah.
Mahomes is the quarterback. He runs like a running back, and he gets calls like he's a quarterback. So sorry, I don't dislike him because he's successful. I dislike him because he does that on the rules. So
Because he sucks.
no, he's good. This is
He's
third
very
Super Bowl
good.
in a row. He's been in the playoffs every time since he's been a starter. He's been in the playoffs every single year, or the NFC Championship every single year. I think since he's been a starter.
Well,
Well, he's already won 3 Super Bowls, hasn't he? And this would be the
Has
fourth.
he won 3? He's
I
won
think
2 in
so.
a row.
2 in a row, yeah.
But
he has won 3, 2020,
won-
23, and
okay.
24. So,
No.
yeah, there you go.
And the Vikings have won. Oh, that's right. They've never won. a
they've
Super
won
Bowl.
0.
No.
0. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that going on right now. That you know, the more successful you are, the more people hate your guts.
It's never not been the case.
no.
I suppose that probably is true. If you're success, and he's not the kind of guy I don't think that sticks it in anybody's face. They
Except
just
he
don't
runs.
like. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand why people get so upset by that kind of thing. And just they were lighting him up on social media this morning. It's like, the football sucks because of him.
I think everybody just always is upset on social media.
Yep, sure are.
I mean, it's sports. You're going to have opposite sides with teams.
Yeah.
You know, that's just part of having a competition between teams.
Yeah, I mean, how many deadly riots have there been thanks to soccer?
Number
That's
of
true.
Quite a few. And
People
it's just
are very
it's,
emotional about
it's
their
men
teams.
kicking a ball around a field, and people make it into their entire personalities.
It's
Yeah.
a beautiful game, Andy.
Sure is.
Andy, if you want to learn about sports, you just talk to Sage Rasmussen.
Oh yeah.
I learned more about basketball on our
He's
little
very into
Saturday
basketball.
morning conversation. I didn't know there was a rookie sweater.
Rookie sweater.
Oh,
Right.
yep, that is
Didn't know there.
correct.
I had no idea, and I didn't know that the rookie sweater card is the most rare, fantastic card in the entire universe.
Rookie sweater card.
It's
Huh.
Victor Wembanyama's rookie
It's-
sweater.
and he-
Wow.
There's a
and he's
piece of the
used-
sweater in the card.
Oh,
Oh.
well then.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
it's
very
big.
Yeah, no one
exciting.
pays for my
Big deal.
sweater
Yeah,
pieces.
nobody cares about my Target.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah,
he's-
rookie sweaters. They're like a thing. They
Mhm.
put a little square of the sweater in the card, and
Mhm.
there you go.
Yep, I
Huh.
mean, he woke up
That's
this
what he
morning
was
and
talking
went, "Who won the Commanders game?"
Huh.
And like every morning and every evening,
Yep.
he's like, "Who's playing when?"
Mhm.
Doesn't matter the sport. When are they playing?
You guys are talking like this is wrong.
Can we check in?
I know, what
And
a
I'm just
weirdo.
like, what?
Yeah, I gave him my one piece of basketball trivia, and of course he nailed it.
What?
I said, "Who was the best player ever, number 23?" And of
Oh,
course, he immediately
Michael
knew Michael
Mhm.
Jordan.
he's got
Yep.
his jersey.
I'm sure he does.
Mhm.
Does.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's
Ethan's
so
becoming like that
funny.
with video games all of a sudden.
Oh,
Even though
that makes
we don't let
sense.
him play them anymore, really,
Hmm.
because he can't go to the potty when he's playing video games because he gets so hyper focused. So I just took the Switch away like a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. But he woke up today and he goes over to our Google and he says, "Hey Google, play Bomberman 2."
Hmm.
Bomberman 2 was on the NES, by the way, so it predates him by about 30 something odd years.
Wow.
Mhm.
But he's just talking about Bomberman all of a sudden because you know that camera that you got him?
Yeah.
It has a horrible, shitty port of Bomberman on it.
Huh.
Oh.
And he watched me play it for 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and now he's all about Bomberman. He's never played it. I don't think he even really knows what it is, except it's about a guy who blows balloons up with a bomb. Because that is what you do in Bomberman. There's balloons and you blow them up.
Oh.
Cool.
Sorry.
And yeah, there you go. Now he's really into Bomberman.
Oh boy.
Kids are
So-
weird like that. They'll just get so fixated on this thing,
Well, yeah.
and it's all they'll talk about.
There's
Oh,
not
and wind
anybody like that.
turbines. We drove to Chaska to go to a play place, and we saw the wind turbine on the way. It's the wind turbine because he drives by it every so often. So we're going to the play place, and he says, "Are we going to see the wind turbine?" And we're like, "Yep, we'll see the wind turbine." And we drove by it, but it wasn't moving. I
Uh-oh.
think there wasn't enough wind. So for the next 2 hours, he talked about how it was frozen and we need to switch it back on and we need to go over to it and there's going to be a switch on it and we have to hit the switch to turn it back on.
Sure.
And
Not exactly.
or are we going to go back to see the wind turbine to see if it's still frozen? It's like
Looks like I remember in Maple Grove there was that wind
No,
turbine
there still is.
there's a bunch in
growing
Maple
up. But I
Grove,
mean,
right?
like we never.
Oh yeah, as a kid
was
there
like
was
that
the one.
one.
Yep,
Yeah, it
there was
still
just the
is. It
one.
works.
And we saw it all the time,
It
and
works
it was
half the
like,
time.
"There's the wind turbine."
Never really cared that much. It was cool, but it's like I never
Yeah,
worried
it's
about
like-
whether it was frozen or not.
Yeah, it was
Are
just
you
like, "Oh,
talking
no
about-
wind today."
Are you
Many
talking
years
about the
ago,
neighbors' wind?
No,
No,
in
the
Maple
huge
Grove.
one in Maple
the
Grove.
one downtown.
Oh.
It used to be out of town probably when you guys were
Oh
there.
yeah, back
Yeah.
then it was nowhere
Like,
near
yeah,
anything.
it wasn't far from like Byerly's.
Yeah,
No.
it looked like it was probably a mile away.
Yeah.
But when you guys were younger, K-Fan had I think it was a Tickle Me Elmo doll that they were auctioning off.
Tickle Me Elmo was all the rage.
They were auctioning off, and I kept calling in, and somebody kept calling in and beating my bid, and it went on for I think 4 hours or 2 hours, all during Chad and Dan's show. At that point, it was the two of them,
Right.
and kept beating my bid, and finally that person went high enough that I'm like, okay, they can have it. Okay.
Yeah.
And that person gave one of you that Tickle Me Elmo. I had no idea that your dad and I were in this
Oh.
back and forth competition.
What?
Yep. So Tom bought it in the auction.
I don't know what you're talking.
I had no idea. And I just kept calling in when he beat my bid. And then he got it. So when you guys got it,
Where'd it go?
I don't know.
That's a great question. I never had. I was way too old by the time that came
I
out.
thought JB gave you a Tickle Me Elmo.
No, well, I don't.
Tickle Me Elmo. When did
Maybe
Tickle
I
Me
don't
Elmo
remember.
come
That's
out?
very
That would have
long
been
ago.
1996. So I was 10. I was too old for Tickle Me
Yeah.
Elmo.
Yeah.
Alex, was your fault.
I was
Yeah.
7.
You were
You
7.
were
Yeah, so-
borderline. I don't know.
I don't remember it.
It was the really
Unfortunately.
hot toy.
It
Well,
was
I
a
remember
very
the
hot
commercials
toy.
and people were like banging down doors
Yep,
to
I
Walmart
remember.
to get a Tickle Me Elmo.
I
It's like,
remember
my
Tickle Me
God.
Elmo.
There isn't anything like that anymore, is there? For
Uh,
Christmas, people go
doesn't that
nuts.
still happen each year?
Every so often, yeah.
I
Yeah.
will say, so my kids asked for in Bluey, there's 2 puppets. There's Unicorse and Bob Bilby.
Bob Bilby, yeah.
and they got the like Amazon Christmas gift thingy brochure.
What the
Is
hell?
the you didn't get it in the mail?
Catalog.
Catalog.
Yeah,
There we
catalog.
go. I was like, I can't think of the
Trying to
word.
remember.
The kids got the catalog because Amazon sends you one every year when you have children.
We
They
didn't get
know.
one. Why are we out of
Guess
the... We're
maybe
out
they
of
have
the
to be a
mix.
certain age or something.
Right.
I don't know. We just started getting one randomly like 3 years ago.
Huh.
You don't ask for it; they just start
It
sending it to you.
just happens.
And Unicourse and Bob Bilby were on
I'm
there. It was
sure.
like $24.99 for the two, and the kids were like, "We want those, we want those," and I was like, It's just you'll play with them for 5 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever. And Unicourse is also obnoxious.
Very annoying. And I can't see Dan doing the Unicourse bit.
It would be me,
Yes.
and I'm like, or them to each other, and I'm like, I don't need that energy in my house.
And why should I care?
And why should I care? Sage does that sometimes.
I'm surprised anybody's still sending a catalog.
But Target
work.
does it too.
Kids love
but
catalogs.
I will say, Fawn the other day was like, because they do things to, if they want something, I'm like, well, you can earn it by XYZ, whatever. And she was like, what could I do to earn Unicourse and Bob Bilby? And I was like, we'll see if that's even like available anymore. You can buy them on eBay for like $200.
Yep, scalpers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Nope. Sorry.
Sorry. I don't want them anyway.
I will never buy my
And-
child a scalped toy.
And I was
Not
like, and
ever.
no matter how hard you work, I'm not going to buy you
Yeah.
these puppets. So it'll be okay. So it's not, and one, it's obviously not the same thing. People aren't knocking down doors of Target because you can just order it online.
Mm-hmm.
But there are definitely toys that are more popular and then ones that are.
Things sell out all the time
And
still.
there's gaming systems that'll come out at Christmas.
Switch 2 is going to
Yep.
come out this year. It's going to be sold out for a year and a half, I'm
Yep.
sure.
Oh.
Melissa was talking about like, oh, why don't we just sell our Switch now and then buy the Switch 2 when it comes out? It's like,
Mhm.
well, do you want to camp out at GameStop for 3 days beforehand?
Yeah.
Because I certainly don't.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
in 6 months you'll be able to get one anyway.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like I said, we don't use ours anymore anyway because Ethan can't handle it, and we're not going to be gaming while Ethan's playing because then he's just going to want to play too. And
Yeah.
yeah, we don't play games so much anymore.
Did you ever do the overnight thing at GameStop?
No,
Tom, as dad.
Oh, I don't
You
think
ever
Dad
get
has
that
ever.
opportunity to do that?
No, we never did any of that. I remember you used to take Andy and his friend Alex. down
Funko
to,
Land,
Funko Land,
EB Games,
GameStop.
GameStop,
Shinders.
Shinders,
Oh,
oh,
Shinders,
Pokemon
yeah.
cards.
The
yes.
Pokemon cards.
Yep.
Yeah, that used to be I don't know, about 3 times a year you'd take them down there. So that
Every
you could
so
buy
often
cards.
Yep. I mean,
Only
I was really only into Pokemon cards for a pretty short period. It was like maybe 2-3 years tops.
Well, they got bigger when couple more years after
Yeah.
you were probably into them.
I
Your
actually
boys were
asked,
really good,
so
big into 'em.
when I sold all my video games, it's a place that also sells Pokemon cards, and they have tons of them. And they have these rare ones, Japanese exclusive ones, and so forth. And I asked, I was like, I mean, I was into Pokemon cards like 20 something years ago.
Mhm.
Are they still big?
I
And
don't
she
know if
says every so often, like it'll be a lull for a little while, like 5 or 6 years, and then all of a sudden it'll just get gigantic again. Every kid on earth wants them for like a year or two,
I know. It's
and then
weird.
it'll lull again. And it's been doing that for like almost 30 years.
So right now there's like a lull, but little kids still really think they're cool. Like
Oh yeah, they don't play with them;
I'd
they
say,
just have them.
yeah, like preschool
Yeah.
through 2nd grade are still like, ooh, Pokemon
Mhm.
is because they just think the cards are interesting. They don't know
exactly.
how to play the game. And so at school, all the older kids, like the middle school boys, bring their old Pokemon cards in to give to the little ones.
Oh.
And the little ones are elated because they're
Wow.
getting shoe boxes full of
Yep.
Pokemon cards because they're not like in anymore, but the little ones like it.
Yeah.
And so right now there's a lull.
And the thing about cards is that unless you keep yours in pristine condition,
Yeah,
they are not worth anything.
anyway.
My
so-
entire gigantic collection was worth like $200.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's a decent amount of money,
Yeah.
but it had a lot of like more rare cards in there, and there was a ton of cards.
Yeah,
You
but
never
like
touch
a
them.
shoebox full of like energies and basic Pokemon is going to be
Yeah.
worth $5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Didn't you have like some Yu-Gi-Oh cards too, or Magic cards?
No, let's see. I never had
Strictly
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon.
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
My cousin Harrison left a binder full of magic cards
Magic.
at our house one day and just never came back for them.
Is that Magic the Gathering?
Magic the Gathering. Yes.
Gathering, yeah.
And
That's
every so
one thing
often
that
I
you
would just
never
no, I
got
never.
into Magic the Gathering or World of Warcraft. Like you never.
I got into World of Warcraft, big, like way into World of Warcraft.
You did?
Like the game,
The
the video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
absolutely.
what's the thing that I'm thinking of?
EverQuest?
Maybe
Maybe that was the one
it's
before
like a board
World of-
game,
board game.
not a board game, but like you get together with your
Oh.
friends and you like
Oh,
Play
you talking-
Dungeons and
Dungeons
Dragons.
and Dragons.
Yes. No, I have never.
D&D.
I have never once played Dungeons and Dragons.
Really?
Yeah.
Never?
I
No.
know, because like
Wow.
you'd think you'd be the type, but no.
Yeah, I played it in college a couple times, and then I got bored.
Can you imagine me as a
They were real
12-year-old waiting around for dice to roll and writing things on a character sheet? It's like,
No.
oh, I have to calculate. My character has 18 strength, so I have to
That's true.
try to break down this door. We'll
I
roll
don't know.
3 d20s.
But it's one of those things that like I feel like boys would get kind of like hyper focused on, and it was like I don't know, a good way for them to be with other people.
Oh yeah,
when
I
it
mean,
was
yeah, it's
kids that didn't usually.
yeah, it's the
socialize
stereotype
too
is
well.
they're all like weirdos, but still, at least they're weirdos being weird
Exactly.
together.
Like they're hanging out together and
It's better
having
than being a
good
weirdo
time,
by yourself.
eating Cheetos, drinking
Tom,
Sprite.
Yep, always.
you were like prime baseball card ears, weren't you?
Yeah.
Weren't they huge when you were a kid?
They were huge,
You
but I
got them
never
in bubble
collected.
gum packages
Yep.
or something.
That's the
Absolutely.
worst gum ever.
Bazooka Joe or whatever.
Yeah, it tastes
just-
good for like 15
It
seconds.
didn't taste
and
good
then it's-
ever. It was like cardboard. It was
Well,
just,
didn't it have that like powdery?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it killed your jaw.
I remember.
I remember just this really,
Remember
really strong
Bubble
gum.
tape or whatever
yeah.
it was.
bubble tape.
6 feet of fun.
6 feet of fun. Oh gosh. And like zebra stripe
Oh,
gum.
zebra stripe gum.
Tastes-
That was the stuff that was
Tastes
great for 10 seconds.
So good for 10 seconds. And then it's like, now this is just a tiny,
Yep.
itty bitty piece of gum that tastes like nothing.
Who here ever did the thing where you chew a piece of gum as long as you can?
Never. I hate gum.
I've
Even
done
as a
that 'cause
kid?
I ended every session. I'm still not
Hate
chewing, but
gum.
Even as a
I
kid, you never did like the let's see if I can chew a piece of gum for a week.
nope.
Oh
Huh.
God, no.
think so. Because once you take it out of your mouth to like sleep,
Yeah, it
and put
becomes
back in,
kinda
it's, like,
gross.
hard and gross.
Like, do I want to put this back in my mouth?
Ooh.
I don't know about that.
No,
No.
I'm not allowed to chew gum because I have TMJ. So
Oh yeah,
No. Where'd that come from?
I've had it forever.
yes, yes, she has.
I don't grind my teeth, but I clench my teeth really hard in my sleep.
That'll
Mhm.
do it.
Me too.
Actually, I don't know if I do it anymore, but maybe time and time again. I mean, every once in a while, but I don't know. It's not as bad as it was in like college and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that
you
makes
dropped the
sense.
coke habit, so that helps.
My
Yeah.
life got incredibly better when I was taught how to mark unread texts. You know, because the big problem with texts is that you hit on them and then they're I lose them because I get so many texts.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
I can mark them unread and go back and find the ones I want to find.
Oh,
That's a great thing in my life.
yeah. That is nice to be able to do because that happens to me so often where it's like I'm
Yeah.
doing something and somebody text messages me
Yep.
and I like see it or I read it on my watch and then it turns into red and then I like forget about it and then 2 weeks later they're like,
Oh yeah.
hello?
Yep.
I have one of my good friends. She will text message me, and I won't respond to her for a while, and she always responds after a couple days. Buddy check, and I'm like, oh hi, sorry, yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
It's a whole different world from when I grew up. I'll tell you that. It was basically just buying the gum with a baseball card. That was about it. That's
No
all,
text?
all we had.
No text.
No
message.
text. Didn't have to worry about that
Didn't
text.
have to worry about the text message.
No, you did not.
Well, they got
No.
text messages, but it was like, Tom, stop. Going to grocery store. Stop.
Yeah. That was about it.
Old.
I was thinking about this all morning. I want to get you guys' take on it because there's a wide range of ages on this show, so I'd like to figure that out. But why is it that right now that if you're successful, people hate you? Has it always been that way?
About
Or-
this.
Literally just had this
15
conversation.
minutes.
I know, but we didn't continue with it. We moved on to bubble gum or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
because
Well,
we kind of came to a conclusion and moved on.
No, there was just a whole bunch of different. No, never mind. You guys go back to talking about bubble gum.
no, I mean, that's human nature. It's like,
But I just don't understand.
it's like in England, there's people that won't marry somebody because they like the other soccer team.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
my
And that's just how
God.
it is.
that's what I said. Soccer,
Well, and it's like-
you can make anything into anything.
I just-
Well, not
people are like
everybody
that.
hates you if you're successful. It's like, I don't know.
There's a big number.
There's a person in my life that doesn't like me because I think because I'm like nice and outgoing, and she's really mad at me for that.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, see, that's what I was trying to get to is that very thing
And I'm
before
like-
you all four turned on
But
me.
here's the thing to me. I'm not going to
Turn
sit
on.
here and like talk about it all the time because I'm like, whatever.
No, but why does it happen? I don't understand.
don't
That didn't used to
care.
happen when I was a kid.
That's
Well,
her
Alex-
problem, not mine.
Yeah.
Alex tried to work this out with this person,
Oh, okay.
Multiple times.
and it's just not.
So she
something
doesn't
she
like
can
that
do.
you're an extrovert.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it.
Well, and not everybody likes everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, she doesn't
That's
need to
just
like
how it
me.
is.
Yeah,
Actually, I think since she's probably decided to despise me, it's been so much easier.
See, this is what I was trying to get to, and you
Never
know,
around me, and so it makes it so much easier because I'm
There you
like,
go.
oh well.
Now I don't.
And
have
then
to
and
even
I
be pleasant to
also,
you.
if I am around her, I'm not worried about pissing her off because I'm going to do it no matter what I
Right.
do. So it's like,
Well,
oh
there
no,
you go.
you're mad at me.
Huh.
What's new?
Yeah.
but I still
okay.
want to know what causes that.
I
Why
don't
would you
care.
even want to do
It's a
that?
psychological
Insecurity.
deficiency, I think.
Insecurities
I
or
really
it's
don't.
jealousy or I don't know. It's just some of it's just certain people you just rub the wrong way. You
Yeah.
know, it's the way it is.
I guess.
Like I'm pretty sure I could say just hello, and it would be taken the wrong way.
yeah,
You know, and it's
probably.
just like whatever.
It is.
yeah.
Well-
I learned long ago that people, especially people on the internet, don't matter. They might as well not exist.
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
The best thing you can do is just it's like okay,
yeah,
you don't like me.
yeah. What do I do about that?
What does it matter?
Yeah,
I say that to my kids all the time. I'm like, other people's opinions about you are none of your business.
I thought you were telling
Yeah.
Fawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like me?
I don't care
Whatever.
if you don't like me.
I mean, we're kind of at that phase with Ethan right now.
Well, there is definitely like you don't have to like me, but you have to listen to what
Right.
I.
Daddy, I
like.
want you to cut my sandwich in half. Okay, I'll cut your sandwich. No, I don't want you to cut my sandwich in half. Well, you know what? At this point, I don't care
Yeah.
because it's been cut in half, and you just have to live with it.
I know. I read something the other day that was like, my son, like he was 4 years old, wanted a very specific lunch. We literally went to the
Yep.
store. He hand-picked out
Mhm.
everything for lunch. He helped prepare the lunch. He
Oh.
plated his lunch.
He
Wouldn't
plated.
eat the lunch.
Wow.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
eat it?
No, that's how kids are at that age, and
Yeah.
we're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
You wanted this, we made it for you.
Mhm.
You don't want it, throw it away then.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember, Tom, you
hungry.
came home and you had talked to a psychologist or something on the air, and Andy was going through a phase where he just
No,
couldn't make
not
him
him.
One of
happy.
my
Phases.
famous phases.
Yeah.
Under any
Phases.
circumstances, you could not make him happy.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, what you say is, when they say, I hate you, because you didn't do whatever it is that
Say, "I hate
they
you
decided that
more."
you needed to do that second, you say, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
And then they go, wait a minute.
Melissa's been doing that with Ethan.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to right there. I understand.
Exactly
No,
how
go away.
you feel.
I
And then
watched this video of had this like child development guy, and he was like, it was for people that work in education. It was like, if there's a kid that's like misbehaving and doing all these things, like the best thing you can do is like ask them questions about like, you know, do you think this is a good idea? Why would you like, where did this come from? Blah, blah, blah. And I have this kid in one of my classes that just is constantly, I mean, just causing problems. Like he's,
Mhm.
I imagine it's like kind of what
Love
you
you.
were as a kid, Andy, where he has no
No control over his own emotions,
self-regulation
yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
He has there's nothing in his brain that says, should I randomly kick this kid in the hallway?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Right there.
Yeah. And so I was like, do we think kicking people in the hallway is a good idea? And he went, yep.
no, there
I
you
was
go.
like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah.
great, great.
We try to do that. Like, why do you feel this way? But either he doesn't perceive time the way other humans do, or he doesn't really understand the question.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like he'll hit Melissa.
Yeah.
And then we'll put him in his room.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later we'll let him out.
Oh no, you
We'll-
can't do no. That's way too far from when the thing happened.
Well, but no, what we'll do is he'll come out of his room and we'll say, okay, do you know why you hit Melissa? And he said, because you put me in my room.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you got put in your room because you hit Melissa. Why did you hit Melissa? Because you put me in my room.
Yeah. They have no concept
don't
of
get it.
Whatever.
Like,
You're not getting this. It's not even worth
well,
trying.
no,
You're
like you
trying to-
can't like, especially for I feel like you can't.
Cause and effect.
Yeah, like, and especially have time between. You know, if you are like, you hit Melissa, you're going to your room, and then you have to just leave it.
Oh, but
The
even
answer is just punch them right back so they know.
there
Oh,
you go.
But
I'm
like,
stronger than
I
you,
feel like
child.
I feel like you can't. You hit Melissa, so you went to your room, cooled off for a bit,
Yeah.
and then like, okay, let's talk about it. I don't think that you can start that until like maybe 5.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
He also, like, the other day, Melissa's dad was over,
Mhm.
and Ethan wanted to like drink his hot chocolate or something like that, and he wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
And he says, "I hate Grandpa." And
Naturally.
we said, "Why do you hate Grandpa?" "Because I love him."
Okay.
oh, there you go.
Whatever the hell that means.
Sure.
Sure, whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
I
because
told
they don't
you.
really even know.
No, they don't know why they're saying things,
Yeah,
why
like
they're doing
at
things.
that age, they're saying things just because it's like, this came to my mind, and I know that it's effective.
Yep.
But then once it's out of their mouth, it's like, oh, I don't really know.
I don't know why I just
Like,
said
yeah.
that or did
You
that.
guys are
Yep.
negotiating with terrorists. Though.
Yes.
Well,
You
yeah.
just can't do
Ooh.
it. There is
Yeah.
no logic.
Pretty much.
There's just you just gotta work through
At the
it.
age of 3, yeah, there's really no negotiation.
Well,
It
nope.
just
And I mean, still, like, Fawn gets in moods where, like, Dan and I just look at each other and we're like, she has to go to sleep now. Like, and we
Yeah.
just, like, she's overstimulated or overtired, or not even sleep, but, like, she has to have what we call her cat time.
yeah.
Like,
Cat
she has
time.
to go
She's
into,
always
like,
done that.
Yeah.
Since
and
she was like 2.
She usually is good at, like, I have to go, like, she'll just take herself away, usually, but there are some times where she's just, like,
Yeah.
you know, digging her claws into
Spiraling.
Sage more and more.
Did she
and
just
we're
start doing
like,
that naturally? Because
Yeah.
Ethan needs that, but he won't do it. Like, I don't know how to encourage this, because if we, like, if we leave a room and he's like in a bad mood, even if he's playing with his toys, not paying any attention to us at all, we
Yeah.
leave the room and he has to follow us. He's like a
Over-
puppy.
he was an only child for a while.
Yeah, but it's like he needs the alone time, because alone time
Yeah.
helps him.
Yes.
Because when he does play by himself, he always comes back in a better mood.
Yeah.
Well, you should
Well,
get
I
it as a
always-
special quiet toy.
We have special quiet. He has these magnetiles that he loves.
Oh, yeah, magnet
He's
tiles are
a
a big
huge
hit.
fan of magnet tiles, and they're as quiet as it gets. It's just little plastic tiles with magnets in them that you make together.
They're great.
But like, he'll go into his room, he'll play with magnet tiles. 45 seconds later, he has to come out and be like, "I made this tower for you."
Yeah.
And it's like,
Aw.
that's
He made
nice.
us a lighthouse the other day. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he likes to make lighthouses ever since he saw Lilo and Stitch. Which one was that? Lilo and Stitch 2, I think.
Two.
There's a lighthouse in it.
Sure.
But yeah. And then he's never talked about that movie again, but he talks about the lighthouse.
Well,
there
it's
used to be a
what's going in
paper
his
that
brain.
was going around, which I'm sure that they have somehow
Debunked.
deleted from existence, that it's children under 16 are clinically psychotic.
Especially boys.
They just are.
And then girls become teenagers and they get
Yep.
there. So
Yep.
Yeah,
let's
that's
enjoy
that's,
these times.
that's what Melissa
You'll miss
said.
them
She's like,
someday.
I'd rather have a boy because they're crazy earlier.
Yep.
And it's easier to deal with them when they're smaller. And then girls get well, but I mean, like,
Yeah,
until they're adults.
some. Yeah.
Boys can become crazy when they're 18, but then they're not your problem
I mean,
anymore. So
there's
just-
a trade-off, because there's a number of years, like you didn't speak for like 3 years. You
Yeah.
just grunted,
yeah, my like
and then you'd punch a wall because like some minor thing happened.
Shelley,
Like, you had-
Shelley did that too, though.
Yeah,
She didn't
well, that's
speak
the
in
thing.
high
It's like
school.
you're like male teenagers have it more pent up
yeah,
because it's like, oh, you can't like be emotional because you're a male and you have to
Mhm.
be strong and blah blah blah. And girls, it's just all out there because we can be emotional because we're emotional disaster women, you know.
yeah,
And
there's
so
there's a happy
it's-
medium
yeah.
somewhere.
But it'll be interesting because, like, out of my 2 children, Sage is the more outwardly
He sure
emotional
is.
one, and Vaughn is the more like keeps it inside one. So it'll be interesting to see how how it goes with them,
how they
because
progress.
I've never kept an emotion to myself in my life, and you,
You and Dad
Keep
are
all of
quite
yours.
alike in that
yes,
regard.
What?
I don't know.
You're
Dad
super
can keep
emotional.
things pent up for sure.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I think
I've never
so.
seen it.
He stews.
Stew, yeah.
Stew.
Stew is, I guess, a better term for
And
it.
then all of a sudden,
He'll
he,
think
like,
about things
yeah.
internally, whereas Alex doesn't really internalize so much.
never.
It's
in my
all
life.
external.
Everything is out there.
Yeah, you do, Stu. You can see on his face he gets this
Yes.
super red neck
Yeah, and he chews on the inside of his cheek.
when he's stewing. Yeah,
Oh,
chews on
yeah.
his cheek, red neck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does
That's why
this-
I've always loved the line, keep it up and I'll do some damage you won't walk away from.
okay. Why does it have
Just
to
stew
turn
for
to
a
violence?
while. What's that?
Why does it always have to turn to violence?
Because it does.
Have you talked? Speaking of violence, have you talked about that movie?
Oh, about the Billy Bob Thornton movie?
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah, that one
Yeah,
in the
you talked
vampire
about that.
movie.
Oh, Nosferatu. I did talk
Oh,
about
the new one?
Nosferatu.
Don't go see that.
It's
Alex.
really good.
Is it?
Why?
You would
Very
hate it.
good.
Why would I
It's
hate it?
very, very, very graphic.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
It is.
I'm good. I have a show recommendation. for you.
Gross. Oh, what's that?
No Good Deed.
Oh,
It's on Netflix.
We watched that.
Got
Yeah.
Ray Romano.
yeah.
Yeah, we're watching that.
Yep.
You like
I was gonna say,
And
I feel
Lisa
like mom and dad.
Kudrow.
I feel like mom and dad would like it.
Dennis
Yeah.
Leary looks the oldest I've ever seen him in my
Yes.
life in that series.
He does.
Like he died
Yeah.
a year ago and they
Well-
unburied him.
He's that's the point, right?
Yeah.
Dug him up.
He's only 67.
I know.
Huh.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is a
he's
good
like
show.
he's supposed to
Yeah.
look really rough. That's
Yeah,
the
because he's a
point.
ex-drug addict and
Yeah.
just got out of jail guy. So
Yeah, that'll age you.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a really
It's
good one.
okay,
But
you know?
but
I don't know.
this-
I think mom and dad, you'll like it because it's a mini series. Like that's
It's
it,
like
right?
seven. Yeah, it's just seven
And like
episodes. I think
it's done.
Yeah.
Like
I
there's
think we have 2 or 3 left in that.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Yep.
that was my
It's good.
laundry folding show for a bit.
Mm.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
I finally watched Lioness. So I
Oh,
loved
yeah.
the first season was great. Second season, that Indian was like I had to even check to see if that was the end because it was weird.
I thought you said that Indian.
I did too.
Yeah,
I was
that's what
like,
it sounded
I was like, are
ending.
we
Yeah.
being politically
Oh yeah,
correct, Michael
I
Brown?
started that, yeah.
That Indian fellow sure can act.
Let me talk to you about doing people.
Yeah, Lioness is a very good series.
Yeah, they do a nice
I
job.
don't know what
Did
that
you
is.
like the ending of season 2 though?
No,
Have we seen the ending?
we're on
Season
3.
2?
There's
Oh, we're on 3.
Yeah, there is no
Okay.
season 3.
There isn't?
I didn't
No,
think
not
so.
yet.
Oh, I'm getting them mixed up then.
I think we got 2 episodes
Never
left.
heard
Oh,
of
so
it.
the
one.
original Lioness is the one that the Middle East situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? For some strange reason, I have that separated in my mind that season 1 was 2 seasons. We must have stopped watching it for
Probably
a
yeah, might
while.
have.
Or
And
maybe
then
they
went
did one of
back.
those hiatus.
Season 1 was
They did
really
not.
good.
Oh, this
It
is
was.
something I would
Yep.
not be
No,
interested
you wouldn't
in
care for
whatsoever.
this, I don't
No, you wouldn't like
I'm
that,
good.
Alex. That's not
And then
your
he, of
kind
course,
thing.
wrote himself in again. He loves to write himself in.
Yeah.
And he's always such a gentle individual in all the things he writes in.
Mm.
Yeah, it works out in the end.
And what was the name of this movie we just watched yesterday with Billy Bob Thornton?
It's called Jane Mansfield's
Jane
Car.
Mansfield's
It's
Car.
phenomenal.
Is that new or is that an old one?
No.
12 years old.
We thought it was new.
Boy,
Is
I
it a
don't
sequel
Billy
to
Bob
Where's My
Thornton
Car?
co-wrote it, and didn't you say directed it too?
Directed and starred in it. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah,
I don't
it's,
remember that at all.
Oh, we never even heard of it.
Robert
Catherine.
Duvall's in it.
Kevin Bacon,
Oh wow.
Bacon.
a bunch of other people I've never heard
Really
of.
good. Oh no, Robert Duvall is amazing in it. He's really good.
Yeah, we had to turn on the subtitles because Robert Duvall has got a very southern accent that
No,
was
good.
like, you know, where I don't know what he's saying. But it was, yeah, it's very good. It's it's a slower movie, but
Really good.
I thought it was really good.
Why is it called Jane Mansfield's Car?
Jane Mansfield was that famous story about like she was in a car and then she went under a semi truck or something and got
Yep, she
decapitated.
did. Yep.
I don't think it actually happened, but that's
Yes,
the
it did.
Oh yeah, it
Top
did.
of her head came right off.
Wow.
Yeah, she was an actress.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I know
okay.
that, but
The reason why it was called that is because one of the main characters has a fascination with car wrecks.
Oh.
Like, he goes to them. He listens to the police scanner and goes to them.
that's not the one where they have sex at the car wrecks, is it?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
Mm.
that was not it.
That was that was
okay,
like
then.
Crash or something like that. That was
And then,
yeah.
and then that car that she was killed in was in those days, and I don't know if this is true, was actually going around the country on display
Oh
for
wow.
people to pay money
To see it,
to
yeah.
see the wrecked
Yep.
car. And it came to that little town, and they went to see it.
Okay.
It was kind of like the whole family system was kind of a car crash
It was,
in a way.
yes. Really
Yeah.
good, though. Really good.
Yeah, it's very good. I think it plays probably better today than it did many years ago.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right
Yeah,
about
with
that.
the whole fractured families and all this kind of stuff.
We only have a couple of minutes left, so I got to bring something up here, and I don't know what this is, but I don't have my glasses on, so I don't know who it is. But somebody keeps sending me text messages. They appear on my watch, and in every one of them is a dead friend of mine that was either a professional wrestler or a weightlifter.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know, but I've gotten like 12 of them.
Wow.
Hawk and Animal, you go down the list. It's like, okay,
Okay.
well,
I want to go back to Jane Mansfield quick. She was not decapitated.
No, just the
She
top of
the
her
top
head
of
was
her head
taken.
came off.
He suffered severe head trauma.
Okay.
Yeah, the
It was
top
an
of her head
urban
came off.
They
legend.
said that in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the urban legend is that her head came off because of
Yeah.
there's a crime scene photo that's
Crushed skull with avulsion of
Ouch.
cranium and brain.
Other than that, though,
That sounds very bad.
We had, yeah, her 3 of her kids were in the car, 4 chihuahuas.
I didn't know that.
the kids lived.
Yeah, the kids all lived. It
They
was
were in the
everybody
back
in the
seat.
everybody in the front died, and the
Wow.
kids
Yeah.
all lived.
Apparently, the
Was-
kids barely even got hurt.
Yeah, minor injuries.
Was the story about the insecticide being sprayed?
Yes.
Well, yeah,
That's
so
why
it's-
they slowed down.
So
There was
that-
like a mosquito fogger ahead of them, and
After midnight, her attorney and partner Sam Brody, a driver for the Gus Stevens Supper Club named Ronald B. Harrison, 3 of her children, and her 4 chihuahuas left Biloxi to go to New Orleans,
Wow.
where Mansfield was to appear. Blah 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 blah. Their car crashed while traveling between 60 and 80 miles per hour and ran into the rear of a tractor trailer that had slowed down from 50 to 35 miles per hour due to an approaching mosquito insecticide fog spray truck, which was flashing a red light. The 3
Wow.
adults in the front seat and 2 of the dogs died instantly. The children asleep in the rear seat survived with minor injuries.
So it's like before they had the metal that came down so cars couldn't go under.
I think they call that a
Right.
Mansfield bar.
Oh, do they?
Oh, really?
I know it's a
Do
couch
they really?
front, but I don't know about back.
Yes, they are called Mansfield, bars.
Wow.
For
All
that
right.
reason.
God.
No,
Eek.
the more you know.
Yep.
Okay.
It's pretty
Yeah, I had
grisly,
never-
but
That
hey,
is pretty grisly.
I had never heard of this story, and how gruesome to take her car around. And they actually had like a lopped off mannequin
I
head
know.
They
in
did.
the car.
Yeah, they
Or-
did.
It's
People
just
are
Not
weird.
true.
what is happening
It's
here?
true.
I
All
don't
right,
know,
we got.
think about like freak shows. They had those for ages.
Yeah,
Just like
that's
deformed people going around the country so people could be like, look at that guy, he's deformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Now it's on the internet, but
Cool.
now it's on the internet.
Now
Now, yeah,
it's-
now you go
now you
to
just Google
old
whatever.
going
Irish
back
or
to
whatever.
the story though, her lawyer and partner.
Yeah.
Well
That,
then,
yeah.
Conflict
You know.
of interest.
very efficient.
That works.
Double,
Yeah.
and a club
It
owner.
was her,
two jobs.
and she had been married 3 times before that.
Wonder what the blood alcohol was in that.
Yeah,
Say.
that's the thing. Well, if she was going between 60 and 80. The tractor trailer had slowed from 50 to 35.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I'm guessing the speed limit was not 60 to 80.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
did not help.
between
No.
there and New Orleans, there might not have been a speed limit back then.
Well, that's
True.
true.
you know,
What's like, I one time mentioned, speaking of kids like really getting attached to stuff, I one time mentioned the Autobahn.
Oh yeah, every kid is fascinated with the Autobahn.
Fascinated with the Autobahn. And
Because
now,
they
like,
what they picture is cars going
just like
1,000
200
miles an hour.
miles per hour.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like, no, it's like like go with the speed of traffic.
Yeah.
Like there's not like a specific you have to go this speed limit or whatever. And yeah, I know. Sage probably brings it up like once a month now.
yeah.
because-
I remember as a kid thinking about
Yeah.
the Autobahn all the time. It's like, you know how they say
Yeah.
men think about the Roman Empire every day.
Yes.
That's the
The
Autobahn
Autobahn.
is that for kids. They
Children.
think about the Autobahn every day for some reason.
Sage
you say
definitely
men
does.
think about the Roman Empire every day.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I honestly believe it.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've thought about the Roman Empire in a while.
There's a lot in our society that goes back to it,
Yeah.
I guess, and a lot of words especially. I think
Yeah.
about etymology a lot though, and
Hmm.
that's unusual. I know.
Is it using things that is from that, so you're not really thinking about it, but it gets the attachment because of the word or something?
Yeah, more or less. I
Okay.
mean, there's, pretty much all, they were very famous for war and expansion. They had a lot of territory. So it's like half the countries in the world, I'm sure, were owned by the Roman Empire at some point.
Sure.
So,
Or at least the known world at that point.
well, yeah, the known world. Well, I guess they weren't really countries outside of there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, would you describe America pre-colonization as a country?
No.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't really a
It's a
country.
mass.
It was, a bunch of territories or whatever.
Mhm. I guess I think about the Red Sox every day.
Well, there you go.
I think what else?
I'm sure the Romans had Red Sox.
Yeah.
They had those. They had the red things on their helmets. So,
Oh yeah, the tassels.
Yep. There you go.
All right, that is going to do it. Any wrapping up words?
Wrapping upwards.
Wrapping upwards.
Go
None
forward
that
and
I
be
can
fruitful.
think of.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this rose before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking